Speaking of AI, a major cybersecurity firm is warning that hackers are moving faster than ever by weaponizing AI. The 2026 Threat Hunting Report by CrowdStrike looks at activity over the past 12 months, ending in June, and it has found that attacks now need to be measured in minutes, not days. CrowdStrike found one campaign that generated almost 200,000 automated requests to an AI system in just 2 minutes, and hackers are targeting the very software and AI tools that businesses rely on most. Adam Meyers is CrowdStrike's Senior Vice President of Counter-Adversary Operations. His team tracks criminal, state-sponsored, and national cyber attackers around the world. Adam, good to have you.
Thanks for having me.
So, I mean, of course, everybody's using AI, including the bad guys, as you make the point here. Let's begin with how AI helps, because your report says AI is a tool, a target, and a force multiplier. Explain.
Yeah, absolutely. The enterprises are rushing to adopt AI, and we've seen all of the benefits that come from implementing AI across the business to help make things go faster, improve results, get things to customers faster, easier. But adversaries are using AI to also increase speed and to make their jobs easier. We find more and more scripts that are being used by these threat actors to hack into organizations. And we could tell from the scripts that they were written with AI because they're well documented. They have emojis in many cases in the comments, and they're much higher fidelity than they had previously been. And of course, we also have AI being targeted. And so that's one of the big challenges we've seen.
You have warned in the past, going back to March, about Iran taking advantage of AI for cyber attacks. At the time, you mentioned specifically the financial services sector, but now you have these attacks on infrastructure here in the U.S. in 6 states, including water systems, and Iran is one of the suspects in that. Do you see Iran as weaponizing AI for cyber attacks?
Not as much in terms of weaponizing AI. I think the Iranian groups that we've been tracking have increased activity, certainly since the start of the conflict, or the escalation of the conflict, I should say. And I think with these alleged water incidents, this is something we've seen from them before. About 1.5 years ago, they targeted a water treatment facility in Pennsylvania and had got access to what we call operational technology systems. These are systems that are used to move things around or increase or decrease the flow of water or pipes, gas pipelines or things like that. And these are systems that should not be connected to the internet. And in previous incidents, we've seen them using default passwords and things like that to gain access.
You mentioned other state actors that do specifically take advantage of AI, including China and North Korea. I mean, they were already formidable players in cyberspace. How much more formidable has this made them?
Well, we see North Korean threat actors literally every day. I think in July, we saw something like 41 incidents of North Koreans using AI in every step of the way to gain jobs, remote IT jobs at Western companies, particularly here in the US. And what that looks like is they use AI to create LinkedIn profiles and resumes to make them attractive to recruiters. We see them using AI during the interview process to answer questions and even change their appearance using deep fake technology. And then finally, using AI to do the job once they gain that employment. All of that meant to generate revenue that goes directly to the weapons program in North Korea. Yeah. On China, we've seen that they're using AI for vulnerability research. And we've seen, and this report details, that China has fielded new vulnerabilities as weapons within 2 days of those vulnerabilities being released, and even as quick as 24 hours. Many organizations have kind of standardized on a 30-day patch cycle. And that's completely obsolete in what we found since really the beginning of this year and the increase in the vulnerability speed. This is something that's a huge challenge for organizations. They need to patch in 24 to 48 hours, not 30 days.
Okay. Now, even before the rapid acceleration of AI, the cyberspace was, as I don't have to tell you, extremely active, and a lot of attacks worked. I just wonder, is AI making existing cyber protections, which were already vulnerable and full of holes, if not obsolete, just much more vulnerable?
No, I think that's actually the good news story is that we've been implementing AI, and many other companies from a defense perspective have been using AI as a force multiplier. And you mentioned that a few minutes ago. As AI allows security teams to make decisions faster, to keep pace with the adversary, it's actually really helpful. Where we need to be very careful, and one of the things we call out in this report is with AI, specifically something called CI/CD pipelines, or continuous integration, continuous deployment, meaning that as code is being pushed by developers, that gets instantly sucked down and implemented by these systems. And we've seen an increase in supply chain attacks. In fact, in just one day, we saw over 300 supply chain attacks against various dependencies that are being used across that AI ecosystem. So that's a big blind spot that I think organizations are not well aware of.
Adam Meyers, CrowdStrike, we appreciate you joining.
Anytime. Thank you.